Ladies and gentlemen, life has a beautiful way of teaching us the value of self-love in the most unexpected moments. Sometimes we walk through storms so fierce that we begin to question our own worth, wondering if we are enough to withstand them. We give others compassion and understanding, but when it comes to ourselves, we are often the harshest critics. The truth is, your inner voice has the power to either destroy you or rebuild you. When you choose to stay positive towards yourself, you begin to rewrite the script of your life. Every struggle you faced has been preparing you for a greater strength. Every scar on your soul is a reminder that you have survived what was meant to break you. And yet, despite surviving so much, why do we still find it hard to be kind to ourselves? Why do we find it easier to extend love to the world but withhold it from our own hearts? Today is about changing that. Today, I want to remind you that the most powerful relationship you will ever have is with yourself. If you stay positive towards yourself, no matter how dark the storm may be, you will always find the light within. Speak to yourself with kindness. When you look into the mirror, what do you say to yourself? Do you criticize your flaws, your failures, your mistakes, or do you remind yourself of your strength, your courage, and your resilience? The way you speak to yourself is the foundation upon which your confidence is built. If your inner voice is harsh, it will cripple your spirit. But if your inner voice is gentle, compassionate, and uplifting, it will give you the wings to fly. Think about how often you encourage others. You tell your friends they are capable. You tell your loved ones they are strong. But when it comes to yourself, you rarely speak such words. Isn't it time you became your own cheerleader? Isn't it time you reminded yourself that you too deserve encouragement? Staying positive towards yourself begins with learning to change the language you use with your own soul. Every time you fall, speak to yourself the way you would to someone you love. Instead of saying, "I failed," remind yourself, "I tried," and that effort counts. Instead of saying, "I am not enough," remind yourself, "I am growing," and that makes me valuable. This shift in language does not erase the challenges, but it makes you stronger to face them. Your words are powerful. They become the reality you live in. If you feed your heart with words of doubt, you will live in fear. But if you feed your heart with words of hope, you will live in courage. Speak to yourself with kindness, because your soul is always listening. Even in your weakest moments, even when you feel broken, whisper to yourself that you are still worthy of love. Tell yourself that this pain will not last forever, that brighter days are waiting ahead. When you choose to speak with kindness, you remind your heart that it is safe to keep going. Kindness towards yourself creates resilience. It allows you to face storms without drowning in self-criticism. It allows you to rise after falling without punishing yourself for being human. And above all, it allows you to live your life knowing that you are not your mistakes. You are your strength to rise beyond them. So stay positive towards yourself by guarding your words. Every kind thought you plant in your mind is like a seed of hope, and those seeds will one day bloom into the life you have always prayed for. Embrace your imperfections. We live in a world that constantly pressures us to look perfect, to act perfect, and to live perfectly. Yet, perfection is nothing but an illusion. True beauty lies in the imperfections that make you human. Staying positive towards yourself means learning to embrace your flaws, your scars, and your mistakes as proof that you are alive, that you are learning, and that you are growing. Your scars are not signs of weakness, they are symbols of survival. They tell a story of how you walked through battles that others might never understand. Instead of hiding them, wear them with pride. For each imperfection is a reminder that you were brave enough to face what life placed before you. Too often, we compare ourselves to others, wishing to erase the parts of us that don't fit society's standards. But what if those very parts are the most beautiful parts of your story? What if the cracks in your heart are the very places where the light enters? When you embrace your imperfections, you no longer live in shame, you live in freedom. Acceptance is the greatest form of healing. The moment you look at yourself and say, "I am enough just as I am," you release the burden of trying to be someone else. Staying positive towards yourself means releasing the need for perfection and embracing the beauty of being real. Think of a mosaic made of broken pieces. On their own, those pieces may look imperfect, but when they come together, they create art. That is what your life is, an art made from pieces of brokenness and strength. When you embrace it fully, you realize that your imperfections are part of your masterpiece. The world doesn't need a perfect version of you. It needs the authentic version of you. Your laughter, your tears, your scars, your victories, all of them combined create the person you are today. And that person is more than enough. So stay positive towards yourself by embracing every chapter of your story. Do not run away from your flaws, for they are not flaws at all. They are your humanity shining through. Celebrate small wins. In our race to achieve big goals, we often overlook the little victories that lead us there. But staying positive towards yourself means learning to celebrate the small steps just as much as the giant leaps. Each time you conquer even the smallest challenge, it is proof that you are moving forward. Maybe today, you got out of bed even though your heart felt heavy. That is a victory. Maybe you pushed yourself to finish a task that felt overwhelming. That is a victory. Maybe you smile when life gave you every reason to cry. That is a victory. Do not dismiss these small wins, for they are what build your strength brick by brick. Celebrating small wins is not about arrogance. It is about gratitude. It is about recognizing that even though you are not yet where you want to be, you are further than where you used to be, and that progress deserves to be honored. When you celebrate small wins, you fuel your own motivation. You remind yourself that success is not built in one day, it is built in moments. And each moment you choose not to give up is worth celebrating. Sometimes the world won't clap for you, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't clap for yourself. Learn to applaud your own efforts, even if no one notices them. Staying positive towards yourself means valuing your journey without waiting for validation from others. The habit of celebrating small wins trains your mind to focus on growth instead of lack. It shifts your perspective from "I am not there yet" to "I am moving forward." That change in perspective is what keeps you alive with hope. So remember, every step counts. No matter how small, no matter how invisible it seems to others, celebrate it. For those little steps will one day lead you to the biggest milestones of your life. Protect your inner dialogue from negativity. The world will never stop offering opinions. People will criticize, judge, and sometimes even try to define who you are. But staying positive towards yourself means building a strong shield around your inner dialogue. You cannot always control what others say, but you can control what you say to yourself. When life becomes heavy and voices around you become loud, silence the noise and listen to your own heart. Protect it from negativity. Protect it from the lies that tell you that you are not enough. For your inner dialogue is the seed that shapes your future. Do not allow other people's words to become your truth. Just because someone doubted you does not mean you are incapable. Just because someone tried to break you does not mean you are broken. Guard your mind the way you would guard your most precious treasure, because it is. You must choose carefully the thoughts you entertain. If you allow negativity to sit in your heart, it will destroy your peace. But if you feed yourself with hope, faith, and courage, you will rise above every storm. Protecting your inner dialogue means choosing the voice of strength even when the voice of fear is louder. When challenges hit, tell yourself, "I am stronger than this. I will not give up." When doubt tries to whisper, answer back, "I believe in myself." When fear tells you that you cannot, remind yourself, "I already have overcome so much and I will again." Staying positive towards yourself does not mean ignoring the pain. It means not letting the pain control your mind. It means being the author of your inner story and refusing to let negativity steal your narrative. So protect your inner dialogue, for it is your compass. Where your thoughts go, your life follows. Keep them rooted in hope and they will guide you toward light even in the darkest night. Believe that you deserve love and happiness. One of the hardest battles is not with the world but with yourself, the battle to believe you are worthy of love and happiness. Too often, we convince ourselves that joy belongs to others, not us. But staying positive towards yourself means believing with all your heart that you too deserve love, peace, and happiness. When you constantly doubt your worth, you push away the very blessings waiting for you. But when you start believing you are worthy, you begin to open doors to joy that you never thought possible. The world reflects what you believe about yourself. You don't need permission from others to be happy. You don't need approval from others to feel loved. You only need to choose yourself, to choose to see your own value, even when others fail to see it. Happiness does not come from perfection. It comes from acceptance. It comes from the choice to find light even in the midst of brokenness. When you tell yourself, I deserve happiness, you train your heart to seek beauty even in the ordinary. Love begins with self-love. When you truly love yourself, you set the standard for how the world should love you. Staying positive towards yourself means honoring your needs, your dreams, and your emotions without apology. You are not too broken to be loved, and you are not too flawed to be happy. Your journey, with all its ups and downs, makes you worthy of joy. The key is to stop waiting for others to give it to you and start giving it to yourself. So believe it today, you deserve love, you deserve peace, and you deserve happiness. And when you believe it deeply enough, life has no choice but to align with that truth. In the end, staying positive towards yourself is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the anchor that keeps you grounded when life shakes you. It is the voice that lifts you when the world tries to tear you down. And it is the light that guides you through the darkest nights. The way you choose to see yourself will determine the way you choose to live your life. And when you decide to speak with kindness, embrace your imperfections, celebrate your small wins, protect your inner dialogue, and believe in your worth, you begin to live with the strength that no storm can take away. Remember, the greatest battle you will ever fight is not against the world, but against the negative voice inside your own mind. If you can conquer that, you can conquer anything. So choose today to stand by yourself, to love yourself, and to stay positive towards yourself. Because when you are at peace with your own heart, nothing and no one can stop you from rising into the person you were always meant to be.